Hey everyone, Marcel with the Pulse back here on the road right now, traveling with the family. They're all out right now. It's giving me a little time to talk with you guys, share what's on my mind right now. And basically, what is on my mind is that NMN right now is in a status quo, static position of victory. We've really won at this point in time. And a lot of it just has to do with three different sets of reasons that have caused me to come to this conclusion that, hey, we've won. We're in a winning position right now. There's no finish line. There's never a distinct finish line in a race that involves the government. You're just never going to quite get there because government is always shifting and changing. But right now, they're frozen in time. Now, what I'm telling you is from my perspective. First of all, as an NMN taker, an NMN proponent, somebody who studies the landscape constantly for NMN and supplements in general in a broader respect, and also watching the players very closely, knowing the supplement team, seeing how they've acted and not acted, because we're kind of at this moment of victory. The supplement industry as a whole, and I'll start there because that's the one who was pursuing the legal action, that hasn't yet happened. When you're in a pole position, when you're in a victory position, when you're winning, you have to question the conviction that you're going to have to go take it further. Like the FDA hasn't stopped NMN. They haven't done anything yet to stop NMN. Sinclair hasn't taken any legal action. Metro Biotech hasn't pursued any legal action against any company selling NMN. So yes, we're in a position of strength right now, and I think a lot of it has to do with the inaction. Now, I'm going to share with you a link to a story, a couple different stories. One of them is that the DOJ lacks the capability to police the bad players in the supplement industry. And what I would contend is that's the very reason, and they've stated this in the past, that they're not pursuing a full stop or a full ban, a full final action on NMN. In fact, they've stated the opposite. It was almost a year ago when they said they have not taken final action. And here we are almost a year later, and it's been 2 years since they wrote their initial letter. So with NAC, for example, they took a position of enforcement discretion, and that was suggested to them by the supplement industry for NMN as well. Yet they've not done that, but they've not done anything. So they haven't backtracked and said, okay, enforcement discretion applies to NMN, but they haven't done anything at all except state that they lack the capacity and they are not taking final action at NMN. And there we are, stuck in this limbo state. So that would be the first set of reasons, the inaction of the industry, the FDA, and the drug industry pursuing NMN as an exclusive drug. Nobody's taken any action at all as of yet. That could change. We'll watch it for you. But right now, that is the first subset of reasons that NMN is in a winning position. The second reason is the growing body of evidence and need for taking supplements, and that supplements like NAD boosters, like things like NAC, and I'll share another link with you with that story, that these things can help us defend against environmental toxins such as microplastics and microparticles and poisons in the atmosphere. We're bombarded with toxins constantly, and it's not going to get any better until we find some new technologies that can clean up our environment, our food supply, and our water. Most likely, and more likely, things are going to get worse before they get better. And what supplementing can do, first of all, a healthy diet and exercise and hydration and helping your body in every way you can, stack your odds for success. But supplementing with natural ingredients can also help defend against these environmental, food, and water toxins. And I personally see that trend increasing, growing. The need to take supplements and the desire for people to supplement is going to increase, not decrease. Keep in mind, just aging alone, we're all getting older. When David Sinclair first started talking about NMN, he was in his late 40s. Now he's 55. So he's had the better part of a decade of taking NMN and had a close vantage point. Just as an example for how much time is playing a role in this issue of NAD boosting and longevity. The longer we take it, the better we feel. I've known about NMN for 5 years. I've been taking it for 3 years, so I've tracked it for quite a while. And the positive stories have only increased. The comments here, we'll talk more about those in a video soon, are incredible, and they continue to mount, they continue to build. The momentum for NMN is growing. The momentum against NMN is decreasing, and that brings me to my third subset of reasons that I think NMN is in a winning position right now, which would be the lack of adverse reports, either stories from people taking it. You would think we would hear if there was a cancer risk, if there was a health risk for taking NMN or any NAD boosters, you would think the hundreds of thousands of customers that we interact with between us, DoNotAge, and all of the people that we know out there, our collective network, there are very few examples of people who take NMN even getting sick. Matter of fact, there are many, many, many stories where people are getting less sick from taking NMN. So you would think if there were these side effects, you'd hear about these in adverse reports, and we're just not getting those adverse incident reports from NMN in any widespread manner. Like if we were hearing repeatedly something about the kidneys or something about the liver, then you would think now with compounded years of people taking NMN, and then the fact that this channel and others and those around us in our supplement network are taking higher amounts, pretty high amounts of NAD boosters. If there were these adverse incidents, you'd think we would hear about them. But again, as I said, the opposite is true. We're hearing amazingly positive, glowing reports from people taking NMN, which I think puts us in an incredibly positive position. Now, I talked about my vantage point, and I check this often. I check myself every day. I talk to my wife, who doesn't take NMN unless she gets sick, and suddenly her bravery level goes up and she starts taking it. But I talk to her about this topic quite often. And so really for me, it's a day-to-day. I could really post a video every day and share with you how I feel every day. I judge the success of NMN by how I feel every day, how I'm doing, and trying. It's getting tougher, to be honest with you, to remember how bad I felt prior to NMN, because I feel so good for so long now. It's kind of fortunate and kind of maybe unfortunate or strange to be forgetting how it felt to feel bad. It's kind of nice and, again, kind of odd, but I get up every day and feel great. I pop out of bed. And I'm building on that success. I'm feeling better every year. And I don't know how much of that is just the memories, the bad memories going away of when I was really less than healthy and having all kinds of pain issues and mobility issues and breathing issues. And the fact that those things have dissipated over time, I'm thinking about them less and less. And so I'm constantly looking at myself, or kind of viewing myself from my mind's eye, if you will, and saying, how am I doing? How am I moving around? How am I feeling? How am I eating? What are my motivations? And I'm doing better and better. I'm doing more and more in my life with regards to sport, exercises. I'm getting more ambitious. Right now, I've worked on a lot of things I've talked about with tennis, and I'll share with you some insights to some of my plans for this summer break, where I'm not really playing tournaments, I'm not playing competitively, and I'm getting more ambitious to add some things to my tennis skill set, if you will, or my health and sportness skill set, if you will. And the thing I'm working on right now is improving my speed. So I'm going to be jumping rope, I'm going to be running sprints, I'm going to be doing some drills that increase my speed, because what I notice when I see younger players, I'm playing at a level typically that you see of people in their 40s right now. So I'm performing in my 40s. And if I were to sort of judge how I'm doing based on my performance with sports, I would say that I've probably, going on 60 the end of this year, probably reversed my age roughly 15 years from a performance standpoint, from an effectiveness standpoint. But if I watch people in their 30s, The number one thing that jumps out at me, maybe even not that they're better tennis players, perhaps, but that they move better, that they're faster. They get from here to there much faster. So now my reaction time has improved, my running has improved, my stamina has improved, my strength has improved. I'd like to try to work on the actual speed. I'd like to try to move faster around the court. And so I'm going to take steps to work on those things and try to wake up those aspects of my body and see if I can have more success. So earlier on, I was just trying to get to where I could win more by having better fitness, better overall stamina, keeping my breath longer than the opponent, right? Not getting out of breath. And I've done a great job, frankly, with those aspects. But again, now, okay, I have a certain level of strength that I'm sort of increasing as I go. My stamina is getting a little bit better as I go. So where is the weak link? I'm slower. I'm slower than the guys in their 30s, and I may never catch up to them. But if I could get another 5 years faster, if I could get to where I'm moving around like people that are maybe 38, 39, that would be a big win for me when maybe I'm moving around like a 45-year-old now in general, and a fit 45-year-old, I will say. And I play people in those age groups. Yes, the team matches that I play are against people my age, right? But I do play at the club quite often with guys in their 30s and 40s. So I see these things firsthand, experience them. I know what I'm up against. And it is a challenge, right? When you face someone that's 35 and they can get to every ball very quickly, it changes the dynamic in how you play, for example. So again, I know most of you don't play tennis, but you can kind of extrapolate by what I'm talking about, the things I'm talking about, to see where you might fit in. Speed may not be important to you, but maybe knowing about it and maybe knowing that you could get a little faster, I think it's good. I think it would be good to run sprints for longevity, for strength purposes. I think if you run some sprints and not just jog and not just walk and not just lift weights, but actually work on your speed, I think you'll find yourself at normal speed performing things, general tasks in an easier manner. Everything will be more fluid. If your max speed is much higher, I think day-to-day life can get easier at normal speed. I'm going to get into the weeds, a little bit of the minutia of my moving around and the drills that I'm doing, share with you guys what I'm working on. We can compare notes. You could let me know what your results are, how you're doing, and any recommendations. I'm all ears. I'm always listening. So again, thank you for watching, and signing off for now, Marcel at the Pulse.